All right, welcome back everyone to another LEGO Star Wars video. Today I'll be ranking every single LEGO Star Wars 2023 set. And before we get started, I do want you guys to read that quick little warning going across the screen at the bottom. This is my own personal subjective ranking. I do not really expect any of you guys to have the same list as mine. This is based off all my own experiences, my memories, my likes, my dislikes, and pretty much everything the set has going for it as an individual product that Lego put out. So this has, sets, it has the promos, it has the combo packs, it has the foil bags, and we'll pretty much be ranking everything. How I do these is I only rank everything A through D first up, and in this case, D is F tier, but I just don't like having a whole bunch of different tiers for, so little of sets. But basically my S tier, I only put one thing in it, and we will decide that at the end, and that will be my number one favorite for the year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Might be a little bit of a longer one. First off, we have the X-Wing poly bag. This one is interesting. It's something that I can't really, say I love it. I can't really say I hate it. It's definitely a nice build. They probably can't do a better polybag X-Wing than this, at least for the next like 5 or 6 years. So I think for what it's worth, I got to put it B tier. Again, I can't hate it, and I definitely don't extra love it. Next up, we have the Death Star 2 May 4th promo. This one is interesting. At one point, I might have put this, A or B tier. At one point, I liked it, but truly, as we're closing off the year, I think this set should add a minifigure. I think it's a little lackluster. And with all that being said, I think I got to go C tier. I think, conceptually, this probably was never going to be an A tier for me. I think if it had a figure, it probably could have been B tier. And as it sits, I think C tier. Next up, we have the Holiday sequel Diorama. This is definitely going to be a hot take already. I love this set. I've said before, it being sequels, I don't really mind too much. The thing is with the sequels, I think every piece of Star Wars media should be getting a set or two here and there. That's why I'm disappointed. We got nothing for Bad Batch Season 2. We got nothing for Tales of the Jedi. I think the sequels deserve a set once a year, once every other year. There is a market for it. It's only fair. And with all that in mind too, I love the concept of it. I love the fact that it's limited, but it's not like hard to get. If you really wanted this set, you have 3 months to go get it. It's a holiday special available during the holidays, and I love this concept, man. So with all that being said, I think if it was OT or prequel, I'd probably go A tier. But with it being sequels, I'll probably go B tier. Next up, we have the Yoda fountain here. Really the only like non-purchasable thing on this entire list, but it is still technically a product. Might be a hot take here, but like I'm fine with stuff like this. I know there's a lot of people in the community that kind of like despise stuff like this and call it like not fair. But in my opinion, it's like, look, like everyone has a different life. And it's like, a product like this, I think for people, that work at Lucasfilm, they deserve something like this. And the truth of the matter, me, myself, and most of us watching this, like just factually say don't deserve it because, we did something in our life. We did not choose Lucasfilm as our career. We don't work at Lego. We don't work at Lucasfilm. So it isn't one of those things. I mean, I would certainly never pay like $10,000 for it. But for the people that, did something in their life to be able to get it, whether it's for free or to be able to pay $10,000 for it, more power to them. I think it's fine. The only thing that sucks about it is, I mean, there technically is nothing exclusive besides the packaging. So with all that being said, I think C tier. Again, I can't despise it. Next up, we have the combo packs. I love combo packs, man. You could put any theme combo pack in front of me and any sets in there, and I would buy it just for the box art. The Hoth one, it's a great deal, as is. I got to give them credit. I mean, it's a pretty good little deal. We're looking at about $70 of retail sets down to $45. And I think with all that being said, I think an easy B tier. Next up, we have the Mech combo pack. This one is a little weird for me, because at least at the moment, it'll probably go cheaper closer to Christmas or after the holidays. But at the moment, it literally is just 3 mechs for the retail price in a combo pack. And the thing is, I mean, I know it's going to go cheaper. I know it probably will. How cheap, who knows? But with all that being said, I think this is like the perfect embodiment of a combo pack. And as much as it's just retail, I truly do like the fact of having all 3 of these mechs in one package. And again, the box art gets me. So I think A tier. I mean, probably a hot take, but I'd go A tier, man. I mean, again, you're going to be able to find it cheaper somewhere. Boba Fett Microfighter Slave 1. This one, I was going to kind of like, hate it because like, I don't know. I was going to kind of be like, all right, it's kind of whatever, kind of mad. But honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, it is nice that we have an OT Boba and then a sequel Boba. both in tiny sets. So overall, it gets the job done. It gets you a Boba. The slave one's all right. I'll go C tier with this one. Next up, we have the 501st Battle Pack. This one, conceptually, I've never really liked because it is just, 4 clones. I mean, sure, they're army builder clones. There's no named characters, but I feel like it is kind of a waste of a battle pack in the regards of like, the average fan, does not need like 30 or 40 of these like they could use with some other clones. I just, in the universe, again, you get a little squadron, you know what I mean? Make it proportional to your 501st Army. You probably only need 5 or 10 of these, and I feel like it kind of caps it up, But for me, there's a lot of sentimental value getting it early last year. It being, the first 2023 Lego Star Wars set I owned, it doing really well for the channel. Shout out to Nicholas. I'll go A tier. I think if I did not get it early, I'd probably go B tier, if not even C tier. But the memories behind the set and kind of what the set means for me definitely puts it up in A tier. The Pirate Snubfighter, this one's kind of a hot take, I think. But I think this set probably, truly, maybe shouldn't have existed. I get where they're coming from. I mean, it makes sense in the fact of at least it was relevant to Mandalorian Season 3. But the ship itself looks all right. The price is a little weird. I think they could have included a third figure. I don't like how both figures use the same face print. That's definitely a little awkward and definitely kind of like, okay, like if they would have included a third figure, I feel like that face print thing would have been a little bit more, tolerable. But I wish they had a Grief Karga pretty much, a Grief Karga in Season 3 outfit. But all that being said, the thing is, now that we know the Snubfighter really didn't do anything in the show, I'm going to go D for now. But it might go up to C by the end of this. Next up, we have the TIE Bomber. A wonderful set. I love this thing. Again, some sentimental value just for the pure value of, getting it early, reviewing it last year. And, but I've wanted a TIE Bomber. I think either way, this would have been A tier. So with all that being said, I think it's a wonderful set, man. $65, great sizing, pairs up well with the 2021 TIE Fighter. The minifigures are decent, nothing to like go crazy over. Ray Sloan definitely could have been a little bit better, but I think TIE Bomber in A tier. Next up, this one at one point, if you look back in some of my videos in like April and May, when this set was first being revealed and released, I loved this thing, man. I loved this thing wholeheartedly. But the more I've started to kind of look at it, the more I don't like it. Okay, so first off, on the minifigures, the Mandalorian and the TIE Fighter pilot, kind of whatever. I mean, you need the TIE Fighter pilot, for the TIE Fighter, of course. Astromech is cool, always nice to get a new one. The Fleet Commander, definitely a little disappointing, knowing how little screen time he had. I wish, retrospectively, that maybe could have been an Axe Woves, especially because we're getting Costco Reefs next year, apparently. So that would have been nice to get Axe Woves in here. The Darksaber, look, I appreciate them trying a new mold, but quite frankly, it just didn't do anything for me. And moving into the ships. So factually, the Fang Fighter was never seen in the final cut of Mandalorian Season 3, so pretty irrelevant ship. The TIE Interceptor, at that point, I feel like would have been better in its own $65 set, but also looking at the TIE Interceptor, it's a little bit of an awkward scale, man. It's bigger than the TIE Bomber and bigger than the 2021 TIE, and it almost makes, it looks out of place. So I don't know exactly what they were going for, but there are quite a few like kind of flaws for this set. I think it is a great combo pack. I think if, for kids, you get it on sale for like 60, 70, 80 bucks, it's great. But the more I've kind of retrospectively thought about this, there are some pretty big flaws here. I can't say I hate it still. I think this would have been A tier earlier in the year, but it's got to go. It's a very low B tier. I think very, very low B tier for me. Next up on the helmets, I can't just say this, get it out of the way. Commander Cody's an A tier. The only flaw on Cody whatsoever is the ball joint being that awkward dark bluish gray. I mean, but, I can't fully blame him, but like that is like really the only flaw appearance-wise of the Commander Cody helmet. Next up with the Rex, this one's a little tough for me. I think the Rex, it's harder to do phase 2 in helmet form. We've always known that, between all these customizers that have tried it over the years. Phase 2 is hard to get in, brickhead form or helmet form. So all that being said, though, I still like Rex. I still appreciate the helmet. I think it still looks good. It looks good paired up next to Cody. So I'll go A tier. Next up, we have Bausch right here, or Bush, Leia. I'm just not a big OT fan. I love Return of the Jedi, though. So like I love the movie, that the Bausch outfit's in. It's not super sentimental to me. I don't really care for it. I mean, the minifigure is great, but I can't put it in the same level as the clones. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think it makes sense for the anniversary they did, but I think B tier is where I want to be at. Next up, we have the Emperor's Throne Room right here. This is one where I would much rather have a playset version. Okay, even though I'm an adult, I'd much rather have a playset version. Or if they would have chopped this down $20, or for the 100 include some royal guards. I understand they don't perfectly make sense to this scene, but they could have some royal guards down at the bottom of the steps, and kind of make it more worth it, more worth our $100. But as it sits, for the price, for what we got, it doesn't look worth the money. I just don't think it is. But again, I like the movie. I love it. I love this scene. I think I got to go B tier. I go B for now. Next up, we have the Endor Diorama. This one, in my opinion, again, overpriced, really nothing to it, very lackluster, and I can't give it really anything more than a C, I think. I think they didn't do it too well, in my opinion. Not knocking the designers or nothing, but I just feel like the final product almost looks unfinished to an extent, and for kind of charging an extra premium, it feels like I just don't really understand it. Next up, all right, so we're getting into it. We're getting into the Coruscant Guard gunship right here. All right, let's see. I already know where I'm putting it, but let me see how I'm going to put this. I'm going D tier first off, all right? And before you guys get all crazy, although there's going to be probably some people that agree with me, genuinely for me, again, this is my own ranking. I'm not just looking for an extra comment, not looking for extra engagement. You guys know I've hated this thing pretty much since it got revealed. At one point, the first leaked image, I was a little bit more hyped about it, but the second we got HD stuff and the official images, my opinion of it, man, first off, the gunship itself, super small. All right, I hate how there's no smaller interior, no double doors, no proper bubble turrets on the side. Just a lot of stuff wrong with the gunship itself. I'm not mad that it's Coruscant Guard based. I'm not mad at all on that. If anything, I like that. That helps it a little bit. But just imagine a 2013 gunship in the color scheme of this. I would love that because I've got older white gunships. So I don't really necessarily need a new white gunship. I was not part of that group that needed one. So I was fine with it being Coruscant Guard based. But the gunship itself, man, the design, the downsizing of it is absolutely atrocious. I despise it, man. It is tiny as heck, and I can't stand for it. Moving into the figures. I think Commander Fox, all right, little spoiler alert, is the worst minifigure of the year. Just the truth of it, man. He's got a pink torso, printed waist caves. I just think the Fox itself, man, it just looks so poor. Just so poorly done. All right, I don't understand how that Fox could be produced. So the Fox is bad, or terrible in my opinion. Shock Troopers, I can't really fault them too much. I think the only problem with those, I'm sure maybe the awkward helmets, if you guys don't like those. But for me, I'm just not a big fan of the modern day clones. So the Shock Troopers don't do anything for me. But I think, for the average consumer, it's not a bad thing. Palpatine, great minifigure. I think Palpatine is fantastic. Moving into Padme, I love Padme. I want more Padmes. But the no dual molded legs definitely hurts it. It being a reuse of the same outfit that we've already gotten before, although it could have actually used a different outfit that we see her next to the Coruscant Guard gunship in universe. That would have been better. And also the face print, man, atrocious. I hate how they're just reusing face prints. So honestly, look, I mean, $140 or not, the only thing I like about this set is the Palpatine and the idea of a Padme in the set. So believe me, I wish it didn't exist. I think as it sits, I would have easily voted earlier this year. If I knew this is what the final product was going to be like, get this thing out of here. Don't let it exist. Don't make it. Don't waste your money. But man, dude, bring back the old gunships. This new gunship ain't doing nothing, man. Ain't doing nothing for me. All right, moving on to the UCS X-Wing. UCS X-Wing here. This one, it kind of disappointed me a little bit. I think there's a lot of other stuff they could have done. Let alone for the anniversary of Return of the Jedi. But I do still like the 2013 one a little bit more from what I've seen. I don't hate this one, though. I think it's a great model. I like the Luke in there. The Luke is fantastic. I'll go B tier. Next up, we have the MIDI-scale Super Star Destroyer. I'm going to go A tier on this one for multiple reasons. First off, I love MIDI-scale. Second off, I think the model looks great. And another thing, I loved how this just randomly showed up on Lego.com one night with no prior rumors, no prior leaks, no nothing, dude. We just literally, it was like 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning, and this just showed up on Lego.com. That is fantastic. I love that type of stuff, man. So I feel like for me, between that, not being rumored and leaked for months beforehand, and being a Walmart exclusive and just looking incredible, like this is like a prime Lego Star Wars set, man. This is how I wish I could feel about most Lego Star Wars sets. Like that right there, that set hits truly different. Next up, we have the Ghost here. And I'm on the camp of I definitely look. This is the truth of it. Nostalgia or not, I like the old Ghost design more. Okay, I like the old Phantom design more too. I don't like the downscaling of it. I think in the same set itself, like within the same packaging, the scaling of the Phantom and Ghost here look fine. The minifigures too, retrospectively, the two random characters. I get why they're here, but they didn't do nothing in the show. Hera's great. Jason Sandula, I wish he had green hair, and Chopper's all right. So, I mean, look, I think it's basically as good as they could have gotten. I think we could have got maybe another, figure two, maybe a little bigger of a Phantom. For now, I'm going to throw it A tier. I'm going to throw it A, but it's a very low A tier. Next up, we have the new Jedi Temple. If you guys watched my review yesterday, which go check it out. Go check out my review of the new Crimson Firehawk, the only review on YouTube as I'm filming this. Another 4+ Young Jedi Adventure set. I think these sets deserve to be on shelves. So I can't hate this one. I'm not the demographic for it. I think if Lego has like a quota for 4+ sets to meet, this is the show to do it off of. And I think they're knocking it out of the park. So honestly, all that being said, for a Lego Star Wars product, I think B tier. 332nd Battle Pack, I'm going to throw it D tier. This thing is atrocious, man. So I've said this since the start. This just looks like a parts pack of leftover BS that they've just had, man. Like orange visors, the 501st bodies and legs. It just makes everything just looks like, the blue jet packs, like including on these guys. Like it looks like a parts pack from just extra stuff they got a whole bin of over there at the factory. So first off, it just gives me bad vibes there. Second off, Captain Vaughn, atrocious, dude. Top 3 worst minifigure of the year. Absolute garbage, man. Vaughn is terrible. The 332nd clones itself, again, I'm not a fan of modern clones. That's that. But conceptually, I've always been under the idea, I don't think we need 332nd clones to be so easily accessible. And hear me out on this. They're only in one battle, man. They're only in the Siege of Mandalore. So I think what they could have done more here, or better here, if they really wanted it to be easy for us to remake the Siege of Mandalore, which that's the only battle these clones are in. Okay, I think they should have scrapped Vaughn, especially with him looking that bad, man. Just get that guy out of here. If they can't make him look better, dude, I never want to see him. But the actual minifigures, I think 2 332nd clones. And at that point, if they want to do a versus one, okay, sure. I mean, my dream battle pack here, 1 332nd, 1 Bo-Katan Night Owl, and then 2 Mandalorians. But even if they want to just like keep it like all good guys, 2 332nd and 2 Night Owl, or 2 Night Owls. I think any way you spin it, the minifigure selection's garbage. The Swamp Speeder, it is what it is. I don't really judge battle pack builds. It's kind of hard to do that, but yeah, terrible set, man. Terrible battle pack. Nothing but bad vibes, and I am forever grateful that I don't care about clones that much anymore, where I do not feel the need to waste my money on this set. I've only got one, and that's it. I'll probably buy a couple to keep sealed, of course, but other than that, man, absolutely garbage battle pack. Yoda's Interceptor. Same thing. I'm going to throw D tier. I really do. I think D tier is kind of like my, worst sets, but also like never should have been made sets. And this one, close to the original one, only a 6 year in the middle. The builds themselves, there are differences, but not too much. The minifigure selection, very, very poor. They're asking 35. They should have included a third figure, whether that was like Darth Bane or a Commander Gree or like a Luminara, like anything, dude. Anything to do with Yoda, a third figure, exclusive figure would have been nice there. But I just don't think this set had to be made. I think this took, away from a Bad Batch Season 2 set. I think it took away from a V-Wing. I think it took away from any other Jedi Starfighter or Interceptor. I don't think we needed a Yoda, Interceptor this year. Next up, we have the Spider Tank. And I'm going to go C tier here. And the reason for that is I think this set had very strong potential, man. Very strong potential. I think this could have been the #1 Mandalorian set ever if they would have included. So this was $50. If they would have made it 55 or even 60 if they had to. I think if they included some more brown on the actual spider droid, if they included the droid guy driving it or or controlling it, if they included the Grogu's pram and also the little rotisserie thing that Mando was spinning on, if they included all that, make it $55. Oh my gosh, would that be the number one playset? So I think I'm going to put it C tier because I think they botched it. I think they did a really poor job on it. I think they rushed it. I really think it's missing a lot of things, but I don't think it should have never existed. I think this set definitely had potential, so I'll go C tier. Next up, we have the T6 shuttle here, and I'll keep it short. I'm gonna go B tier on this. I like this set. I think it's a fair little value. All the minifigures are absolutely fantastic, very premium feeling minifigures, and the color scheme, I don't mind it. But the biggest thing here, man, I can't do that. That's downsized small T6 shuttle, dude. I just can't do it. I don't like how you can only fit one minifigure in there. I don't like it. And just bottom line of it, B tier, man. If it was a bigger size, I'd go A tier easily. But yeah, B tier for how it is. The Grogu or the Mandalorian Starfighter Microfighter, D tier. I love the Mandalorian Starfighter, man. I don't mind it in Microfighter form. But the minifigures are boring as heck. Again, this is my list. I don't need them. I feel like a lot of people don't need those figures anymore. And the fact that they really are trying to claim that Grogu adds $6 to the value of it, man, I just don't get that. So yeah, easy D tier. Should have never been made. Next up, we have the E-Wing and Shin Hadi's Starfighter combo pack. I'm gonna go A tier on this one. I think this one still falls into the line of, never saw it on screen together, so it kind of hurts, in that regard. But I think both, vehicles stand on their own 2 feet. Both are fantastic. And I think, the colors really pop. I think the minifigures help too. All exclusive, all a lot, new prints, new stuff like that. I love the Astromech. So compared to the other 2-pack, I think this one has two good vehicles and all good minifigures compared to, one pretty good vehicle and, really no spectacular fig. So I'll put this 2-pack in A tier. Next up, we have Yavin. And I'm going to go C tier on this one. I'm going to go C tier because same thing as the Spider Tank. I think conceptually, this was great. I mean, we have wanted a Yavin for, 25 years, like all 25 years of Star Wars. Like we could have used a Yavin. We almost got one back in like 2009. But in my opinion, again, this just might be a hot take, but I think when I think of Yavin, it almost seems like, I don't know, like what kids really care about Yavin? I don't know. Am I wrong on that? Is that a weird take? Like, I feel like a Yavin set itself would have been better put in, even if they kept it play scale size. If they would have taken it a little bit more seriously and not make it look so 4+ish, or if they would have made a $350 MBS set. So I think they just kind of botched the execution. But I'm not here to say that the set should not exist. I think it's a little overpriced. It looks way too childish. I think the Y-Wing is a very awkward inclusion at that scale. But yeah, so there's my thoughts on that. Next up, we have the Advent calendar. I think this is one of the better Advent calendars, truly. I'm not going to put it A tier or nothing. I guess nothing like crazy, but I'll go a solid B tier. I think that's fair. Let's actually skip over the Venator really quick. I'll do the Mechs really quick. So I'm going to lay it easy on you guys. I'm going to go Boba A tier. Wonderful minifigure, wonderful way to get them for cheap. I'm going to go Vader second. Nice named character. If you really need a Vader, get them for a cheap price. And I'm going to go Stormtrooper in C tier. This guy, honestly, I'm going to go Stormtrooper D tier because I don't think the Stormtrooper one needed to exist. Because think about it, for the exact same $16 price point, they could have done an accessory pack and given us 3 Stormtroopers because they're army builder characters. And, mechs don't exist in general in the universe. But at least you can argue for named characters as a cheap way to get a named character. But for Stormtroopers, man, should have just been a accessory pack. Chewbacca, I'm going to go D tier. I don't think I got to say much on it. I wish they continue this line. It looks like next year they will, like with R2-D2 and C-3PO and stuff. But Chewbacca, just bad execution. I mean, I don't think there's really much more the designer could have done. But I don't think it was smart starting off with Chewbacca. I really don't. So I think D tier. Let's knock out all these paper bags really quick. I'm going to keep it really simple. Really no explanation needed on these, but I'm going to go Bo-Katan B tier. I'm going to go 212 C tier. Terrible minifigure, but at least it's an army builder. X-Wing, I'm going to go D tier. I don't think we needed it. We already got the poly bag. Kenobi, nice character. I'm going to go B. Y-Wing, I'm going to put in C. Scout Trooper, I'm going to go A, wonderful minifigure. ATTE, I'm a clone boy. I'll go A. Terrible Stormtrooper, but at least as an army builder. I'll go C again. C-3PO and Gonk. I love the two figs in there. We'll go B. TIE Bomber. They've done a lot of these, so I don't know. I'll go C tier on the mini TIE Bomber. Yoda's Starfighter, absolutely terrible, man. Looks like a TIE Striker. Fighter Tank, I'll go A. Again, I'm a clone boy. And then here we go. We got 3 sets left. All right, Tusken Raider Brickhead. Let's knock this one out right here. So this one, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but what a weird choice for a Brickhead, man. So I think out of the hundreds and hundreds of other Star Wars characters they could have done, why are we doing Tusken Raider, this early on? But B tier. Again, it's not a bad set. I'm just kind of sitting here like, why did they make it? The Endor 5-pack. This thing is incredible. I think it's great. I love it. Short shelf life. I think they're all great looking brickheads. I do think they should have included an Endor Han instead of Lando. And with that being said, I think that's going to probably put it in B tier for me. I think it's not perfect, but I do like it. I think it's a great concept and definitely worked well with what year it was. All right, Venator, no explanation needed. I'm going to go A tier for now. And so, yeah, there's the list right there. So D tier is all stuff I don't think should have existed. C tier all had potential, but definitely missing some pretty key points. B tier is kind of, run of the mill, like right in the middle. They're decent. I don't love them. I can't say they're bad. And A tier is all stuff that, my top tier favorites. So yeah, how I'm going to do this pretty much is I'm going to do S tier now. So S tier, I'm only going to pick one thing, and of course, out of A tier. And I'll keep it short. I don't want to go on for too long. It's pretty self-explanatory. UCS Venator for me, man. UCS Venator, for everything it stands for, I think it looks beautiful. And it's kind of hard to, I think right here, man, it's even hard for me to really pick my second favorite because the Venator is like so good. And there's really nothing else here in my A tier that even like kind of comes close. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to go UCS Venator and S tier, my number one set of the year. I am a little sick of it. I saw way too much of it. I kind of messed up on the build too. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to come back to it maybe middle of next year and try to finish it, build it up, and see if my love and my hype of it kind of resumes. But I definitely don't hate it right now. I know it's my number one. I know it's wonderful. I know again, minifigures, Ularn's great. I'm not one to buy UCS sets for minifigures, but I fully agree Rex is terrible, but it's not gonna knock the actual Venator itself. You get what I'm saying? But there's my list, guys. There's every Lego Star Wars 2023 set ranked. Definitely let me know down below. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with any of this? Do you guys hate it? Am I a terrible person for putting a set somewhere? But bottom line of it, this is my list. I'll have the minifigure one out soon, probably in a couple days. And yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. 2023 Lego Star Wars was decent. A lot of some very, very good highs, some very low lows. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys, and stay safe.